Hey guys, we're going on location with Auto Exposure Media to talk to Dom about his cars. So let's go!
So we're headed out to Cave Creek to visit one of our good friends, Domenico, from Mercedes of Arizona. The drive out here was a long one, but it paid off with some awesome views as we climbed higher into the hills. The roads kept getting smaller and smaller, and it was hard to believe that this was actually the Arizona desert. Dom recently loaned out one of his cars to be used in a music video shot in downtown Phoenix. They were making a video for an artist named Lundy and a song called Don't Run, Don't Hide. We were there too, filming all the behind-the-scenes happenings. I'll put a link in the description for Lundy's music video and our behind-the-scenes footage. We also learned that day that Dom was a vintage Mercedes collector and had some other cars that we were interested in seeing. So Dom invited us up to his place and we jumped at the chance to check out his collection. Let's just jump right into it and hear all about Dom's cars.
Sure, this is a 1973 280 SE 4.5. And it's amazingly original. I'm actually the third owner on it. It was originally sold in the Bronx in New York City, and then a gentleman had it before me for about 17 years. I've had it about 12. Paint's original, interior is beautiful leather. It's an awesome car. For those of you who care about the details too, it is a 4.5 liter electronically fuel-injected V8 with Bosch D-Jetronic fuel injection, which in 1973 was state-of-the-art, man. And this is one of the last 200 that they made. It was actually made in November of '72, but they titled it as a 73 because it was toward the end of the year. I was really kind of just cruising through. I look at a lot of car auctions. I kind of can't help myself with that. But I found it and I thought, wow, that really does look sharp. And the guy that had it was knowledgeable and a great custodian before me. So it was really hard to pass up, and I'm glad I got it when I did. Oh, you're being very nice calling it a collection. I just kind of dabble in them. I've actually just sold quite a few a couple of months ago. Presently there is a 1973 280, which is almost a twin to this one. It's the next size down. It's an E-Class, whereas this would be an S-Class. But they are complementary colors. That one's also in tobacco brown. And then there is what Germany called a Heckflosse, which means fin back, from 1963, 220/B. And that one is the one that has the unique permutations of brakes. That one I believe is all drums all around with a remote booster, but there were a ton of different options. 63 was the switchover year, depending on what month they made it in. So you could have a firewall mounted booster, the remote booster up in the fender. You could have no booster. Single circuit, dual circuit, 4-disc, 2-drum, 2-disc, or 4-drum. Kind of makes finding parts for that one really a challenge. The other thing that holds those back, they're what you call a 4-main bearing crank. So later on, toward like 68 or something, Mercedes went to a 7-main bearing crank, which supports the engine better over prolonged high speeds. You have to really be a nerd to care about that kind of detail. I actually just sold the only one that I ever bought new. I had a 2013 SLK 250 6-speed manual, which was the reason for buying it, because it was one of the last stick shifts Mercedes ever made. But fortunately, I have a family member that also has really good taste in Mercedes. She has a 2012 SLS AMG Roadster. I believe she named that one Oscar. She got it right around when Oscar Pistorius became famous for that incident he was involved in. So she's like, I'm going to call the car Oscar. Kind of an odd aside. This one actually has a name too. I named it after my parts guy. He used to run a site called Peach Parts. His name was Phil Reinhardt. Awesome dude. He had backroom inventories of stuff all over the country. He could get you the correct parts almost instantly. But he passed away around, I want to say it was 2013, but I don't remember the exact year. So I knew he would love this car, and I bought it kind of right after he passed. And I named this one Phil because, you know, why not? Sure, absolutely. Be my pleasure. So this one's fortunate to have the full leather interior too, which is in awesome shape. And I got the AC going again about a year ago, which in Arizona is kind of a non-negotiable thing. You definitely need air conditioning. I like the sound when the door is shut too. It's a very authoritative thunk. The other kind of exciting thing too is the paint on this. It is completely original Glycerin paint, which is what they used back then. And having to care for it is labor intensive. It's not like your current urethane clear coat paints where you can just kind of buff it or leave it out in the rain and not care. If you leave this out in the rain, you will have your work cut out for you after it dries off. Obviously dusty right now because we've got the breeze blowing in. And there's your 4.5 liter electronic fuel injected Mercedes V8, which is kind of funny because everybody when they see this car, especially if they're over the age of 60, they walk up, "Oh, is that a diesel?" I get really tired of answering that with, "No, it's actually a factory V8. "Oh, did you put a 350 small block in it?" No. Mercedes made V8s at that time and they're very good motors. But yeah, it's always some turkey usually goes, "Oh, that's a diesel." And I just have to laugh. Oh yeah, those are a factory Mercedes add-on, I guess you'd call it, or whatever you want to call it. And it's a little dachshund, and his head bobs when you're driving down the road. He's got a little Mercedes star on his collar. Of course, I always worry that some dummy's gonna see the car parked at Fry's and think I left the dog in the car. I've just considered myself super lucky to have owned this car as long as I have and to have found one that was in such great shape. They're not like this anymore. People tended to use them until they got beat up and then park them outside until the rats got into them and destroyed them. Yeah, this really does embody the old standard they used to use, which was das Bestes oder nicht. Forgive my German pronunciation, but it meant the best or nothing, and they actually meant it at that time.
Okay, so Dom, thank you very much for this whole thing. Using your car in the video was awesome, and letting us come up here and check out your whole collection. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. It was my pleasure, honestly.
Yeah, wonderful, beautiful cars. We really appreciate it. So thanks, and we'll see you at the next Mercedes of Arizona event.
I love those. It sounds like a plan. Thank you.
All right, what an awesome day we had at Dom's house. A huge thank you to Dom and Tamara for having us up here to see their awesome collection of Mercedes-Benz cars. And thank you, our viewers, for coming along with us on another Benz adventure. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Well, you know what I should have done is do the whole goddamn thing as Hank.